Gonna read chapter 17. 7. Oof. I have to read page 182. 162. 162. 162. Just gonna memorize the fact that I'm gonna read page 162. So, strengthening teams and conducting meetings. Haha. Many college students make the mistake of picking a career under the assumption that it will not require them to interact with other people on a regular basis. I wish I could figure out something that would be like that, but I can't. So, and besides, interacting with people isn't that bad, is it? Team communication is important for 3 reasons, which are probably not going to be on the quiz. Basically, I hate this because it says, here's why it's important. It's because it's central to achieving professional excellence, which is basically the same thing as saying it's important. And it's important for developing in the workplace. Still, it's just saying it's important 3 different ways. Groups are a group of people. A team is a group of people working together. Wow, good job. I just made that definition up myself. I didn't even read the rest of the description of the difference between a group and a team. I just guessed. A group is 2 or more persons interacting with one another in such a manner that each person influences and is influenced by each other person. They say that a group of people watching a movie is not a group. Great job. They say it's 3 or more people who are working toward a common goal or share a common purpose. Yeah, but I thought that was a team. Dang it. The difference is the nature of these relationships and interactions. A team is defined as a group in which members share leadership responsibility for creating a team identity, achieving mutually defined goals, and fostering innovative thinking. There are 4 key differences between groups and teams. So, first, unlike group members, team members share leadership responsibilities. Man, headphones are too far away from my computer. I wish the stinking cord was longer. I can't even move my head farther back. Dang it, I'll just move this forward. Hold on a second. Second, team members share an identity. They refer to the group as us and we. Third, group members work toward common goals. Team members do that, and they also help define what those goals will be. And finally, teams strive for innovation. Conducting meetings. Basically, what they're saying is a team is a group that is doing a good job. That's like essentially what they're saying. No, this actually not exactly. A team is. Oh, hello, Chris. I will definitely have lots of fun. Leadership can be shared. Goals and purposes can be defined. A team identity can be developed, and innovation can be fostered. The meeting environment. A meeting environment is the time it's held and its location. The environment has a major impact on us. Why did I select this room for study? I know the environment is important. I spent millions of hours trying to clean off my desk because it was feeling way too crowded. And I didn't feel like doing homework there. Consider the time. Oh, nice. A scene from The Office. One episode of the television show The Office gave special attention to the ins and outs of meetings in workplace contexts. As you study conducting meetings in this chapter, what is your general mindset about attending meetings? What expectations do you have? Oh, come on. They don't even say which episode it is, though. Judging from Jim's hair, it must be season 4 or later. Oh, I know this. I know this episode because it has the cart with the cheese platter on it, and I can't remember which specific episode it was, but like Michael was okay. So who's the guy who's the CFO? The CFO is talking to Jim about a possible promotion, and Michael wanted to spy on it, so he hid inside a cart with cheese on it. I can't remember the episode that was. It's 162. Yes. Meeting topics, agenda. An agenda is a guide or an overview of the topics that will be covered during the meeting. Meeting participants. The two important questions you should ask yourself when it comes to planning meetings is who should be at the meeting? And can all key members attend the meeting at this time? Shared leadership. Facilitate. Support positive team roles and norms. Eliminate self-centered roles and unproductive norms. Team roles. Lots of roles. Task roles and relationship roles. Task role, relationship role. There's a self-centered role. What the heck is a harmonizer? Team norms. A norm is an unwritten rule of behavior. I'm going to look at the chart with the roles. There are task roles, which are roles that help the team carry out tasks and get work done. The initiator, the information giver. I'm not going to memorize all that crap. Dude, there's no way that's going to be on the quiz, right? All right. Problem solving. A team is defined as a group in which members share leadership responsibility for creating a team identity. You have got to be joking. Oh, achieving mutually defined goals and fostering innovative thinking. Problem solving and decision making. Decision making is actually a step in the problem solving process. Decision making is the act of choosing among a set of alternatives under conditions that necessitate choice. Problem solving involves making a choice and coming up with quality alternatives from which to select, and then working to implement the choice your team selects. The reflective thinking process. There are 5 steps that make up problem solving: describing and analyzing the problem, generating possible solutions, evaluating all solutions, deciding on the solution, planning how to implement the solution. Describing and analyzing the problem. Now generate possible solutions. Do not stop with an okay. Do not stop with an okay solution. Teams seek innovative solutions that address all facets of a problem. There are 7 right answers to every question. They describe team as basically just a group that does a good job. That's literally their definition of team. Because they say teams subscribe to the wisdom of this proverb as if every single team is the same. Like their definition of teams. There are many tools that can aid your team to generating possible solutions. There's brainstorming, nominal group technique, idea writing, and role playing. Now you must evaluate the solutions. Criteria, based on criteria. Criteria are the standards used to make a decision. Deciding on the solution. There are apparently 4 approaches. When the decision by the leader. The 4 approaches are decision by the leader, voting, compromise, and consensus. Decision by the leader. They say if it's a decision by the leader, that means it's not a real team. Oh, voting. How about compromise? Consensus. The final approach to decision making is consensus. You know what this sucks? I hate wearing earphones because it means that I can't just have it be quieter. Because I can't go back. Consensus is good. Okay. Planning on how to implement the solution. The lead is the person who's accountable for a given task. What? Cultivating innovative thinking. You must stimulate innovation. Stimulate. They're like, after all, teams, by their very definition, must foster innovative thinking. Yeah, by your definition. Explorer, artist, judge, and warrior. Oh my gosh. Explorer. Explorers seek out new information in uncharted lands. Artist. The artist puts ideas together in new ways. Someone who puts ideas together in a new way is an artist. If you can develop a chart or a schedule, you too are an artist. What if Okay, judge. Evaluate the possible solutions and decide the one solution for implementation. Warrior. Nice. To make certain that the plan is implemented successfully, the role of the warrior is to develop and carry out the plan. Supporting each role. Conflict in team meetings. Well, it's the last time you thought to yourself, I have a meeting today. I hope it's full of conflict. So let's use a different word. If conflict has too many negative connotations, let's replace it with the word discussion or sharing of ideas. I hope my meeting today is full of discussion and sharing of ideas. Need for conflict. Groupthink is the tendency of highly cohesive groups to suspend critical thinking and make faulty decisions. The causes of groupthink. First, the group must be highly cohesive. If the group functions in isolation, is very homogeneous, lacks norms for critically analyzing information, and or is dealing with high-stress threats, and they are often headed by a charismatic directive leader. Avoiding groupthink. Introduce conflict systematically. Now, meeting think. What is meeting think? What is meeting think? Meeting think has the same outcome as groupthink, but it doesn't require the same inputs. It's the suspension of critical thinking due to more common variables, such as false empowerment, overload, or poorly run meetings. False empowerment occurs when a leader acts as if he or she plans to involve the group in the decision-making process, when in reality the leader is going to make the decision regardless of the input received from the group. overload occurs when group members have so much on their plates that they cannot truly concentrate on and engage in the meeting at hand. Poorly run meetings. Avoiding meetings. Make it a practice to follow the suggestions discussed earlier in the chapter. Consider the meeting environment. Always evaluate the meeting topics and use an agenda. Ask yourself if the topic is relevant. Am I being respectful of my team's time? If you have a meeting scheduled, cancel sooner. If you understand the meeting scheduled, but there are no agenda items, cancel it. If you have a leadership title, facilitate the discussion. Make certain all functional roles are present. If you're not, bring it to the attention of the team. If you're not, leave it to me question. Challenge yourself to be fully prepared and engaged in every meeting you attend. Avoid becoming overloaded by actively managing the number of meetings you attend. If you are invited to participate, ask a leader why you're selected. What role does he or she want you to play? If you will play a valuable role, attend. If you are invited out of courtesy, decline. Similarly, ask if you are the person who needs to attend, or if a representative of the team is needed. Representative needs, look at the team for support, and then employ qualified members. Team will be let in your place, or may be in favor to opportunity. Whether group members are suffering from critical thinking is suspended, faulty decisions occur. Productive conflict. Conflict is present in 3 of the 5 stages that make up team development. The 5 stages of team development include forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. I feel like some of this stuff the forming stage. Storming, they engage in fighting. Norming, develop procedures for organizing, giving feedback, and confronting issues. In performing, they carry out duties of the group. Adjourning, they complete his work, resolve issues, and come to a close. If a group is to become a team, it will encounter conflict in the storming stage, develop productive ways to handle conflict in the norming stage, and utilize this kind of innovative thinking in the performing stage that can come only through productive discussion and conflict. Handling conflict. There are 3 modes of conflict resolution: flight, fight, or unite. Flight, you choose to not engage or deal with the conflict. Fight is another alternative. Confrontation. This is a win-lose approach. Unite approach. To move away from stating positions to exploring interests. What? You must look beneath the surface of each position to see all the interests or the needs and concerns underlying each position. Raise the issue. invite cooperation. To develop listening and participating as a norm, incorporate the round-robin technique. After you've raised the issue and invited cooperation, go around the circle and allow everyone to share his or her perceptions of the issue. I didn't know how to memorize all the stupid terms. I mean, not stupid terms. Well, unfortunately, I did not. I don't think it really affected my grade that much. Okay. I think I'm gonna take some notes. Wait, what is this? Not take notes. I don't know what I said. Why I said take notes. This is gonna look weird, but I'm doing my vlog. I'm doing my vlog for my homework channel. So, it's 11:09. I read the chapter and took the quiz, and I got 8 out of 10 because there were a bunch of charts with a bunch of terms for people who are playing roles in a group, and I did not actually look at those terms very much, so I got the 2 of the questions wrong. So anyways, now I'm going to work on corporate finance. By the way, it took me 46 minutes. So I'm now reset. What I'll do is, I think I was on section 4. Let's see, it says I was on, start with 4-4, so I'm going to try to finish studying section 4.4 and then finish studying section 5.5, and then I will be, and whatever, at some point in the indeterminate future, I will give another update. It is currently 11:11 a.m. That probably looked weird. It's just my vlog. It's cold in here. That looks stupid. Somebody's shoveling outside. Somebody is my neighbor. I'm gonna just check to see when the next quiz thingy is due. (23rd of March). It's soon. Let's see what the date is that is. That is exactly 1 week from today. Okay, starting with 4.4. A firm has total interest charges of this, sales of this, tax rate of this, and a profit margin of this. What is the firm's times interest earned ratio? So the way to do the question is to calculate the net income. Calculate the net income. Calculate the earnings before taxes. Calculate the earnings before interest and taxes, and then calculate the times interest earned ratio. So this question is complicated, so therefore I'm going to write a step-by-step thing of how to do the question to study at a future date. So calculate. So TIE question. One. Net income. Net income equals 2 million, which is sales. Sales times profit margin I will write out the words so I don't forget what. No, I don't need to write out the words. Net income equals sales times profit margin and 2 earnings before taxes equals net income divided by 1 minus the tax rate and then the 3 EBIT equals earnings before taxes plus interest. That's that. That's how you do it. So that's something I can study. So now the next question. From the financial statements given below, calculate the total debt to total capital and times interest earned ratios. The total debt to total capital ratio is the total debt divided by the total capital, and total debt, they count debt as notes payable plus long-term debt, which is stupid. And the total capital is Hi. I am talking. Oof. I don't know how long I'm standing here for. Could be standing here for quite a long time. I'm on my chair. I'm just kind of sitting. Just doing nothing, really. Oops. That's, bye-bye. I mean, not bye-bye to the street, bye-bye to the car that just left. Total debt to total capital is total debt over total debt plus equity, and they mean total debt equals 425 plus 420, which is notes payable to bank. Total debt plus 420 long-term debt. Apparently it doesn't include accounts payable and accruals. Total capital, total debt plus equity, total liabilities and equity, total capital, total debt plus equity. They added those two plus 1,105, which is common equity. So that's all I have to know, really. They think that total debt is equal to notes payable to bank plus long-term debt, according on that specific thing. So apparently that's what I'm going to do. you do the total debt to total capital ratio and the times interest earned ratio, and the times interest earned is equal to the EBIT divided by interest somehow. What? Why? Oh, I know why. Question 3. Equal to, what is the total debt to total capital ratio? Do a balance sheet. Question 4. Calculate the net income. Calculate the EBT. Calculate the EBIT. TIE. Okay. There's 2 questions that have the same solution. Net income equals the sales, 2 million, times the profit margin, 0.06, is 120,000. Then you do EBT equals net income is 1 minus tax rate. You have 200,000. EBIT equals 200,000 plus interest 20. You have 220,000. TIE. What is the TIE? EBIT 220 divided by interest charges 11. Oh crap. Calculate the total debt to total capital. So you do total debt to total capital is total debt over total debt plus equity. So you do total debt, which is equal to notes payable but to the bank, which is 425, plus long-term debt is 420 divided by 425 plus 420 plus 1105. Total debt to total capital equals $13 divided by 30. My calculator is dying. Not good. and then times interest earned equals EBIT divided by interest charges. $175 5. So we have 0.43 and 5. Next. Now we do the same type of question. NI equals sales times profit margin Nope, not the same type of question. First we do a balance sheet. Okay, so total debt to total capital. So we have so current liabilities equals crap. Dang it. It has long-term debt. It has no short-term debt. So we're going to consider $200,000 to be the debt. So anyways, so the total debt to total capital ratio is the total debt divided by total debt plus equity. So it's easy and you don't even need to. Crap. I just realized, no, you can't do that. It's long-term liabilities. So that's 700,000, 300,000 of debt. So actually 300,000 of debt. Plus total equity is equal to .375. 37.5. Now we do this thing again. NI equals the sales times profit margin. $120,000. So EBT equals 1 minus tax rate. 200,000. EBIT equals times interest earned ratio is the EBIT divided by interest charges. I have to redo the whole question. All right, net income equals... number divided by divide 2 is equal to that number plus interest. The return on investment. C. Where's ROIC? Oh. The basic earning power ratio, BEP, the basic earning power ratio, the basic earning power ratio is a better means of judging a company's operating efficiency than the return on total assets because the BEP does not reflect the effects of debt and taxes. Basic earning power uses operating income, which is calculated before interest and taxes. Return on assets uses net income, which is found after interest and taxes. So basic earning power ratio is a better means of judging a company's operating efficiency than the return on total assets because the BEP does not reflect the effects of debt and taxes. Brookman's. How much debt was outstanding? How much debt was outstanding? What does it mean? How much debt do they have, really? So you calculate such debt outstanding question. Debt outstanding question. Debt total equity equals shares outstanding times BVPS to total assets equals total equity divided by 1 minus D T C R 3 TD equals total assets minus equity. Of course they freaking did that. They did total equity and then they just did equity. You are looking at two firms in the same industry. High Performance Tire Co. has a profit margin of 10%, and All Year Tires has a profit margin of 8%. High Performance Tires' low debt to total capital ratio is 70%, and then the 20% versus for the other one. Because the difference between debt, not better management, could be the cause of a higher profit margin. False. High Performance Tire Co.'s higher total debt to total capital ratio would tend to lower the profit margin, as its margin is already higher. This indicates High Performance Tire Co. is the better managed company. A fire has destroyed many of the financial records of Anderson Associates. You are assigned to piece together information to prepare a financial report. You have found that the firm's return on equity is 12%. And the equity multiplier is that they have no preferred stock. What is the return on assets? ROA question. One equity multiplier EM equals ROE divided by ROA. To solve for ROA, to solve for ROA, that's it. Question 6. What profit margin would the firm need in order to achieve that? So the profit margin question. ROE. I'm gonna check something. Didn't really answer my question, actually. Equity. 2. Solve. Then. %15 is the ROE is equal to income divided by equity. Do current, then do current, and then do future. Do current, then future. Then profit margin equals net income divided by sales. Calculated. Okay. I can now do the assignment, but I had to write down how to do 3 of the questions. Yeah, this is why I had to study this. I wouldn't have remembered how to do this stuff. So I really hope I can take this soon so I don't forget it again. Okay, this one's easy. All you have to do is you have to record. You just have to use the equations that are written in my Word document. So profitability ratio. So the operating margin, OM equals profit margin equals return on total assets, ROTA, and then ROCE, and then return on invested capital, and basic earning power, OA. Okay. Now the operating margin. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I have that. Oh, I do. I do have it. Okay. It's EBIT over sales. Okay, so EBIT over sales. EBIT over sales. EBIT divided by sales. We have 0.0729. The profit margin is the net income over sales. So net income over sales. Net income over sales. 0. The return on total assets is the net income over total assets. So net income over total assets 2270 is 0.0370. The return on common equity is the net income over common equity. Common equity. Return on invested capital is the kind of complicated thing. EBIT 175 times 1 minus the tax rate. And then over total invested capital. So what's invested capital? I think I know what it is. So what they mean by total invested capital, I think, is notes payable to... No. I think it just means common equity, right? I think what they mean is common equity, right? 1105. So we're getting 0.0950. The basic earning power of assets is the EBIT over total assets. So okay, we have completed it. We have 7.29, 3.50, 3.70, so we have 7.29, 3.50, 3.70, 7.600. I got the wrong answer for one of them. So I got the wrong answer for the invested capital. I'm not sure how to do the invested capital. So we're going to have to... So what they have for invested capital is they put. Also, they used a 0.4. They put 0.6 for the tax rate. Hello, taxes is 0.4. Oh, never mind. I'm done. 845 plus 1105. I seriously don't get this. 875 is not on here, or 845 is not on here. I don't know how to come up with invested capital. They say debt plus equity on the bottom. They say debt plus equity. Okay. I think I get it now. So they say invested capital is equal to debt plus equity. So they say invested capital is debt plus equity. So to know how to do that one, what we're going to do is the denominator is changed to the debt. They think debt is equal to notes payable to the bank is 425. They think it's equal to notes payable to the bank plus long-term debt, which is 420, and then they add the common equity, and they end up with a 5.38%. Okay. So now we're gonna do 4/6. Calculate the market value ratios, which is the price to earnings ratio and the market to book value ratio. So EPS is net income over number of shares outstanding, and the P/E ratio is that, and the market to book value ratio is that. Companies with the high priced earnings and a high market to book. Okay, so company with a high price to earnings and a high market to book are regarded as being risky or having poor growth prospects. False. If you have a high price to earnings ratio, you have strong growth prospects and low risk. Two companies, Davis Associates and Matrix Enterprises. they have the same earnings per share, but their stock trades at a higher price. Davis and Associates trades at a higher price to earnings ratio. The only thing that we can say is that the higher price on the same earnings leads to a higher price to earnings ratio. You have the same earnings, but there's a higher price. So if you have a higher price and the same earnings, you have a higher stock price on the same earnings, that means it has a higher price to earnings ratio, which is obvious. You know what? I'm worried that I accidentally skipped questions on the last test. Did I skip questions on the last test? Yes, I did. I'm an idiot. I have to retake the last test because I skipped tons of questions because I'm stupid. What is the return on assets? Yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Really? Return on equity over equity multiplier. Is 0.0720. Debt outstanding question. You do TE equals SO times BVPS. So TE equals SO shares outstanding 315000 times BVPS, and it's 22.75, and you have 7,166,250 times insurance. Total equity. And then TA equals total equity. That one, 1 minus the DTTCR. DT, the debt to total invested capital ratio. So .44. So TA $12 million. $796,875. And then TD equals TA minus TE. So TA minus TE is equal to TD, which is total debt, which is $5,630,625. So $5,630,625. Calculates everything, which I already did, and it's 7.2, 3.5, 3.7, 7.6, 5.38, 7.71. Yeah, for some reason last time I did this test, I just thought I was done after I did this question, but okay, now we need to calculate the profit margin, and what you do is do the current return on equity. Okay, so what are you solving for now? What is the current return on equity? So we need the current return on equity. Current ROE equals NI divided by E. And net income is 25,000 divided by equity. So what is the equity currently? So that means its equity is also 375,000. So its net income is 25,000 divided by 375,000. So its current ROE is 0.0667, and then you do the next one. So the things that change is that, wait a minute, why would I need to do the profit margin is net income over sales. I assume the thing that changes is net income. NI equals ROE over E. And EI equals 0.15 divided by the equity ratio. No, E is equity. No, it's times E, not divided by E. Profit margin equals net income over sales. So calculate the sales. No, we already know. PM equals 56,000 divided by net income. Zero 941 0 941. Oh my goodness. This is the last one. Why would they calculate the current return on equity? It's completely pointless. Wait, how did I get 56,000 exactly? I didn't. I'm just stupid. Okay. I did it correctly, but I accidentally wrote 56,000 instead of 250. 56,250. So the answer is 0.9. Okay, 250. 4, 5. Now the current return on equity is completely irrelevant to the question, by the way. I don't know why they made you do that. The current return on equity is completely irrelevant. They don't use this number at all for the rest of the calculation, so anyways. Stop. What is the market to book ratio? Market to book ratio question. Market to book ratio question. Calculate book value. 1. Book value. Book value. Book value to mark to book. Companies with a high profit to earnings, no price to earnings, and a high market to book ratio is regarded as risky. No. If you have a high price to earnings ratio, you have strong growth prospects and little risk. companies, Davis and Associates, and they each reported the same price to earnings ratio. No, the same earnings per share, but their stock trades at a higher price. Davis and Associates trades at a higher price to equity ratio. The higher price on the stock, but you have the same earnings, means that you have a higher price to earnings ratio. And now calculate the market value ratio, which is the price to earnings ratio, and the market to book value ratio. You somehow need to get the EPS, earnings per share. Market value ratios question. Calculates the EPS. Calculate the EPS, and then PDE, price. And then market to book value. And that's kind of simple, but just in case. So, okay. What is the market to book ratio? You do the BV and then the MB. Okay. Is common equity over shares outstanding? Common equity over shares outstanding. So 400 million 0.00000. So it's the book value is common equity divided by shares outstanding, and the number of shares outstanding as 500 million. So the book value is the 4.8 M to B equals the market over market It's just the market price over the book price. Oh. No. I don't know why it's not here. I need that. Market to book ratio. It has something to do with the book value. Well, no, duh. It's the market divided by book. You have your book value, now you need the market value. Where's the market value? Of the stock price. The stock price is the market value of the stock. So 25 divided by 4.8. I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. 5.21. Companies with the high price are risky. No, it's actually not risky. It's less. thanks, Snapchat, but if it's my group, then actually good. Nope, no thank you, Snapchat, you can stop. It was a stupid ad. I call everything I don't like stupid, I guess. So therefore, Davis and Associates has a higher. Now we will calculate the things. So first you do EPS. EPS equals what is going on with me right now? How do I not have the earnings per share in this document? Because the textbook sucks, that's why. Net income minus preferred dividends. Average number of common shares outstanding. So net income minus the preferred dividends over the average number of common shares outstanding. EPS. So the EPS is equal to the net income, which is 84. Everything's in thousands. 84,000 minus the preferred dividends. No preferred dividends because they didn't mention it, I would assume. And then the average number of common shares, 7,000. So EPS is 844. And then the P to E is the price over earnings. So the price of the share over the earnings per share. So stock price is 40 divided by 8.4, and you get 4.76. And then the M to B, the book value of the stock. Is, I think I need to do book value. So book value BV equals common equity over shares outstanding. So common equity 1.05 10,000 market to book is market divided by book. Market value is 40 divided by the book. Why is the book value so high? What? That doesn't sound right. I got 0.36. Well, maybe it is correct. Price to earnings and market book. So price. So I got 4.76 and 0.36. So we'll see if that's right. It's correct. we're done with that one. Yeah. The equity multiplier can be found as ROE divided by ROA. Correct. ROE divided by ROA is equity multiplier. Now, what is the firm's total debt to total capital ratio if the ROE is doubled under these assumptions? So, what is the total debt to total capital ratio? TD to TC ratio question. And one ROE do before ROE before equals PM times total asset turnover times EM, and then after. Why do you need to do it before? Wait a minute. Do the after calculate the ROE of before, and then do the after calculate the new EM new, or after equal EM after equals and then so you do the EM after, and then you do balance sheet 3 the things you don't have are balance sheet, and for assets divided by equity. What is assets divided by equity? The equity multiplier. Okay, that's the equity multiplier. We already have the new equity multiplier, right? Yeah, that's that one. Now total liabilities and equity, 10,000. So oh, I'm dumb. Wait. So do calculate equity using the EM. Calculate. So do EM equity after equals. It doesn't. It's implied that it's after. E equals TLAE over EM. Now you have equity. That equals TLAE minus CL minus total equity. And then you have, and then total 5 T D T D T capital ratio, total debt to capital ratio. Okay. Question 3. Use the Dupont equation to determine the return on equity. So return on equity, ROE question. Do ROE equals PM times TAT times EM. So there's that. And for Infotechnics Incorporated has total assets equal to easy question. Do they give you the PM profit margin? Do they give you the total asset turnover? Yes. Do they give you the EM? Yes. The ROE before equals profit margin 0.1 times TAT 0.25 times the EM is 2, and you have 0.05. Now do EM after. Now do the EM after. EM equals ROE now you have to double the ROE. So you do ROE divided by PMO times TAT. So now the ROE has now been doubled. So if the ROE is doubled, you have 0.1, and then you have PM Now we're going to increase the profit margin to 0.14, and the TAT will stay the same. Now you get a 2.8571. Now you do the equity is equal to the TLAE, the total liability and equity. So the total liability and equity is the total liability 400,000 plus so the total liability and equity is actually equal to the total liability and equity is equal to assets. So the assets is 10 million, and then the equity multiplier we have determined already, and you end up with 3,500,000, and then the debt is equal to the total liability and equity is 10 million minus the current liabilities minus the equity 3,500. You have 6,100,000, and then the total capital ratio is it's just the total debt divided by the total capital, idiot. Okay, so you do 6,100,000 divided by the total capital. The total capital would be my gosh. Wait. total debt plus equity. So you 6,100 plus the equity. So you have 3,500 and you have a 3. Oh, never mind. Hold on. You have 61 divided by 96, and you end up with 0.6354. 0.635. Next, use the Dupont equation to determine the return on equity. So now what we do is the PM times the TAT times the EM. So the PM is equal to the profit margin is the net income over sales. Net income divided by sales. TAT, total asset turnover. Sales divided by total assets. And then the EM, equity multiplier, equity multiplier. Equity multiplier is total assets divided by total common equity. So total common equity. So you have 2.0543, and then you do. I'm just curious. I have obtained my second of subscriber. I would assume, right? I'm not sure if it's for this channel. Plus, almost next time. Lag is lag. Is it like the longer the video is on OBS, the more it lags? I think that's how it works. That seems to be how it works. No, that was for my main channel. Or was it? Bum bum bum. It actually says I have 0 subscribers now. So I think the guy who subscribed originally unsubscribed. Which is... Let's just see. So... Alright. Yeah, that was for my main channel, not my other channels. Yeah, this guy I think unsubscribed because it says I have 0 subscribers. Back down to 0. So anyways, the ROE is equal to all you just multiply the three things together. Six, 7.6. Now you do the equity multiplier. So the equity multiplier is equal to the total assets over total common equity. Two. Now we'll create a new test. 0 questions for 4/8. 1 question for 4/9. Trend analysis is one method of examining changes in a firm's performance over time, which in the analysis of only 1 year's ratios will not show. Correct. Trend analysis is an analysis of the firm's financial ratios over time used to estimate the likelihood of improvement or deterioration in its financial condition. Stop. Now, here's what we're doing. Due to significant variations in accounting methods among firms, meaningful ratio comparisons between firms is more difficult than it would be if all firms used the same or similar accounting methods. Correct. Ooh, nice. Correct. One of the limitations of ratio analysis is that firms may have significant differences in accounting due to choices of inventory valuation, depreciation method, and other factors. Which of the following statements about ratio analysis is correct? The correct statement about ratio analysis is that borrowing on a long-term basis and using the proceeds to retire short-term debt would improve the current ratio and thus be considered an example of window dressing. Window dressing is the term used for techniques that make financial statements look better than they really are. An example is borrowing long-term debt. Long-term to retire the short-term debt. So borrowing on a long-term basis and using the proceeds to retire short-term debt would improve the current ratio. And so that's an example of window dressing. The fact that relationships can sometimes be manipulated is one problem with ratio analysis. So if the current ratio is greater than 1.5, then borrowing on a short-term basis and using the funds to build up our cash account would cause the current ratio to increase. False? So if you do math, you will see that right, now we're trying to determine what the term's total debt to total capital ratio is. Okay. Total debt to total capital question. This might be the same type of question as before. No. Second. Total debt to total capital ratio. Question. Okay, so one, you do EM equals ROE divided by ROA. And then assets divided by equity. What? Now do the equity multiplier is the assets over the equity multiplier is that now you solve for the new equity. So equity to equity equals assets over equity multiplier, and so you have the E, and then you have the LTD 3. LTD equals long-term debt is equal to total assets minus equity minus current liability. So, and then for total debt, total capital. Okay. Now retake the test. Due to significant variations in accounting methods, it's difficult. Borrowing on a long-term basis and using the proceeds to retire short-term debt improve the current ratio and thus considered in window dressing. The fact that relationships can sometimes be manipulated is one problem with ratio analysis. Okay. Current ratio equals current current liability over current assets over current liability. So if you have something greater than 1.5, 3 over 2 is exactly 1.5. So how about we just do 4 over 2? 5 over 3. So 4 over 2, 5 divided by 3. It has gone down, so therefore it's false. Now we will calculate the total capital ratio. Total debt to total capital ratio. Step 1, EM equals ROE divided by ROA. EM equals so the ROE is equal to 0.12, and then you divide by the return on assets. ROA. Oh, what? Oh, really now? Why did they say total equity is 12% and then they changed it to 15%? They're stupid. Now, if it's 0.15 divided by ROA and 0.1, and you end up with 1.5. Now you do E equals the assets divided by the equity multiplier. The assets, total assets, is 2.5 million. And you divide it by the equity multiplier, 1.5, and you end up with, oh, really? Wait. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure this is not what we did. You know what? Let's see how to do the question again. Of course. Of course. I'm stupid. Oh, I was doing it right. I was doing it right. Okay? Now you do LTD, which is long-term debt. So you do A, assets are 2.5 million. And then you do the equity, which is that. And then you minus current liability, 250,000. And you end up with the long-term debt, which is 583,333.333, and then total debt to total capital ratio is total debt, and they don't have short-term debt. Yeah, so we have that on top, and then we have that again, 583,333.333 plus the total equity, which is 1666666.667, and you end up with TDTC is equal to 0.2593. I have completely finished chapter 4. Now we'll move on to chapter 5. And I guess I'm using this calculator now. I don't know. Maybe I can charge this calculator, but I don't want to do it right now. Okay. Lag. Thank you. I am vain. Oop. I am vain. Okay. The correct statement is that timelines can be constructed where some of the payments constitute an annuity, but others are unequal and thus are not part of the annuity. Timelines can be constructed for different time periods, different payment dates, and uneven amounts. The correct statement is that timelines can be constructed for annuities where the payments occur at either the beginning or the end of the periods. Correct. Timelines can be constructed for annuities where the payments occur at either beginning or the end of the periods. They can be constructed for different time periods, different payment dates, and uneven amounts. The correct statement is that timelines are useful for visualizing complex problems prior to doing actual calculations. Timelines are meaningful ways to visualize complex problems. They can be constructed for different time periods, different payment dates, and uneven amounts. Okay. If you're wondering why the heck I'm going through this so fast, it's because I already know how to. I already did this before, so I think I know how to do it. Now, how do I clear memory on this thing? Do I have to look at the stinking tutorial again? Second, clear work. Second, clear TVM. Okay. Second, CF. Second, periods per year is 1. Second, quit. Periods per year is 1. 4 is a 10. No, it's not 10. 10. Okay. Now assume that you purchase. Okay, so now our 6-year thingy is so N. I forgot the order that you do it. It was a certain order, like you have to do it a certain way.